Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be another barrel exercise and I'm on Vendi, and in a minute he's going to see the barrels. So I've recruited a couple more and I've actually brought in a faux barrel. Pretty much everyone will have one of these and I'll show you what it is in a second. Oh, so brave. What a good boy. Oh my God, you're so brave. The wheelie bin. I got a little bit brave and bought the recycle bin out, which is a bit bigger than the little green bins. I may pay for this at some point in time. And I did think that I could lie it down to start with. So following on from my first two videos on the barrels, which were apexes and skinnies, I kind of now thought I would put them together. So the wheelie bin has made an appearance. Now this next creation is one that I built out of shorter poles, and I think I sort of happened to build this once because I only had short poles left and I was like, what can I do with this? So this apex is, as you can see, a three-pointed apex, and each of the corners are the same size, so they're the same angle and width. So you can basically jump this from lots and lots of different directions, as you can see. So 3 points, you can jump each point in both directions, so there's 6 different directions. I've just popped some short ground rails down there just to give the fence a slightly more welcoming look. So for those of you that aren't sure, ground rails sit out just in front of the line of the fence. Let me show you here. Come on, Bend. So you can see that ground rail sits just out in front, and it creates more of a rampy takeoff, which helps horses not get in too deep. And then, what was this? I think this was a 4-stride distance to the black barrels. Oh, Vend, don't tell me you think these are scarier than the wheelie bin. Yes, he thinks these are scarier than the wheelie bin. You're so brave. Anyone that saw the video on jumping barrels in a circle will see how much Vendi loves black barrels. And then I added in this fence here. So this is just an oxer, and I thought that oxer there can be done on a curving line back to this corner. So basically the arena has lots of fences on it that are all related to the apex in the middle, plus I can jump the apex coming off the long side of the arena, so jumping across the width of the arena, which makes the approaches a little bit shorter. Here are the fences I've set up. So I have a wheelie bin. You can use a barrel if you want to. You could use the green normal wheelie bin, it's a little bit smaller. I've rested the top rail in the groove of the handle so that it sits there and isn't as likely to get knocked off. And then the ground rails have got a little bit of space so that they create a little bit of a ramp, a ramped front on either side of the wheelie bin. Now, the wheelie bin to the barrels is 6 strides to this corner here, and then the barrels are a further 4 strides on. So wheelie bin to skinny is 6 strides, then landing on this side, and we've got 4 strides to the barrels. Isn't it apparent that apparently black is way scarier? And I've set this one up the same way, so we've got ground rails quite like a reasonable way out, maybe I don't know, not quite a yard, a couple of feet. And I've popped some sand on the top here, and I've made the wheelie bins. There's a bit of a seam through the middle of the wheelie bins there, so I've lined that up so that the pole has something to rest in again. And I make my top pole as wide, if not a little bit wider. And if I was going to make one barrel, I would look for probably swap it and use that little skinny pole on the bottom and pop that on the top. Now I'm going to give Vendi a warm up first, and I've staggered all the fences at different heights so that I've got something small to start with and then something a little bit bigger before I go hell for leather straight into the apex or the wheelie bin. I may have to put the wheelie bin on its side, but we'll see how we go. I've walked him up to everything that he's been a bit spooky about and let him have a look at it. So yeah, I guess I just better get going now. Oh, by the way, this is his running gag. So I've been talking about this new Bomber's running gag, and so I'm quite excited about that. Anyway, I'm gonna go and have a warm up. I'm dead. Okay. Now we're gonna have a go at the corner. Good about the black barrels. Actually, he's been the spookiest over the black barrels. The white ox is fine. The corner has been really cool. So now I'm going to try the wheelie bins. Never done the wheelie bins before. Oh, what a good boy! Really been key. He's good at it. Doesn't mind a bit. The dogs. Boy. The scariest thing of our day. I put in here is an oxer. It's not overly big, but by putting a wider fence in here, it makes the horse jump with a bit more power and velocity, and you can't just canter into it with no canter. You've got to come in a little bit forward. And then it was 5 strides to this point of the apex. So whenever you have a big wide fence followed by a skinny fence or an accuracy fence, and the wide fence makes you jump a bit bigger so the horse has got a bit more power, it obviously makes it more difficult to get to the accuracy fence because you have to have lots of control. So same thing when I was doing the corner here to the skinny barrels, if he boomed over the corner and then started spooking at the barrels, that made his stride a little bit stiff, and then it shortened it slightly, but then I had to kick him forward and I felt like I was going off a little bit too much of a long runny stride. So yeah, whenever you've got something that makes them go forward followed by something that makes them come back together and have to be accurate, it's quite tricky. Now the other line I was doing was skinny corner, this one here, landing, and then right angle turn to the wheelie bin. Sorry for the shaky vision. And so I was doing that both ways. And that was the one that was tricky because Vendi would jump over the apex and then he's like, I know where we're going. And so when he jumped in the air, he would land and bulge his shoulders to the left. So this is it going the other way. So we go wheelie bin. And this is a good exercise because you're coming off quite a short turn to the corner and you've really got to get your eye on it and make sure that you get the right angle here and not go pointing off in the opposite direction or land in the middle. I think we did that a few times. Ben, how many times did we do that? This exercise is really, really helpful. Helpful for identifying the fact that the more he does it, the more he thinks he knows where he's going, and then he starts to dive on takeoff in the direction that he thinks we're going. So when you're jumping an accuracy fence like said apex here, if I'm turning left afterwards, Vendi jumps it, falls left in the air, and then often ends up landing on the outside canter lead. And so he sees the wheelie bin and he goes to jump the wheelie bin, but it's not the way I've asked him to. He's like slightly on the wrong leg or a bit disunited and he's pulling. So if I wanted to, for example, add an extra stride, I can't. And I'm kind of just like pointing him at it a little bit. That's what it feels like. So it's really interesting to correct the horse after it's jumped the fence or the exercise a few times and they start to anticipate. If I jump it just in different directions all the time, then he doesn't know where he's going and it's okay, but that's really not the point. The point is to be able to say to the horse, I'd like you to stay on your line, no matter how many times I have or haven't jumped it, so you have good training, basically. What do you reckon, Ben? Ben just likes to go, I can do it, I know what I'm doing, I can jump it, I know where I'm going, and that's great in some ways because he's really brave, but in other ways, when I'd like to have a bit more say in it, it's he's a unit, but he's a good boy, aren't you? Yes. Oh God, sand on the barrels. Thanks again so much for watching my video. I hope that you really enjoyed more activities to do with barrels and other random skinny things that you can find on your place. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And also I've really appreciated everybody's comments. You've given me so much great feedback on how much you're enjoying the exercises and for some new ones to do. So keep them coming. Anyway, until next time, see you later. I'd also like to thank Vendi, who is becoming a little bit fluffy in ISO at the moment because he's yet to be clipped, but is still ever handsome and extraordinarily brave. Thanks, Vend. Good job, friend. Very fluffy. You need a bit of a bath, I think.